is a question 4 on sample paper 3, paper 1. Now, what first we want you to do is write 125 divided by root 5 in the form 5 to the power of p. Okay, so if you go on to page 21 of your notes, you'll see notes on indices, okay? And what you'll see is a formula for 1 over a to the q equals roots the square root qa, okay? Now what this basically means is that if we had something like let's say the cube root of 27, if we put in 27 to the power of, see the way a is 27 and q is going to be, a is 27, so you can see a is 27 and q is 3, so therefore it's going to be 27 to the power of a third. That's the same thing. Now the question we have has the square root of 5, and the interesting thing about that rule is that when it actually, the square root of 5 actually has a 2 in it, okay? So we can change the bottom part down to the 5 to the power of a half. Okay. Now the next thing remains what to do with the 125. Well, the 125 equals 5 cubed. How many 5s does it take to make 125? So you keep dividing it by 5 until you get down to 1. It takes 3 5s. 1, 2, 3. So that equals 5 to the power of 3 equals 5 to the power of p. Now, what we got to do next is, there's another rule for this, and the next rule is the division rule. If you have a to the power of p divided by a to the power of q, ends up to be a to the power of p minus q. In this case, a is 5, the big number is 5, you can see that a is 5, p is 3, and q is a half. So what we can say is it's 5 to the power of 3 minus a half equals 5 to the power of p. Therefore, it's 3 to the power of, now what's 3 minus a half in the calculator? We can put this in, 3 minus a half. And what that gets is 5 halves. Okay, so 5 over 2. Now, sometimes if you're getting this here, it means your calculator is in stat mode, so that means that's why we got those funny looking signs for the fraction, okay? Now, hence solve 5 to the power of 3k minus 1 equals 125 over root 5. That's the same as what we just done a second ago. So what we can say is that 5 to the power of 3x minus 1 is the same thing as 5 to the power of 5 over 2. Then we can say 3x minus 1 equals 5 over 2. 3x equals 5 over 2 plus 1. So let's see what 5 over 2 plus 1 is. Seven over 2. 3x equals 7 over 2. Then divided by 3. So then we're going to get x equals 7 over 6. 7 over 2 divided by 3, we can do that quite easy. And we find out 7 over 6. Okay, so next question. What we have is solve x minus 10. Solve x minus 10 is less than or equal to 2 multiplied by x minus 1. That is smaller than x. X element r. What x element r means is that fractions and decimals are included. So you're going to have a shaded in number line at the end. So if you were to have an answer of like 1, 2, and 3, if it's natural numbers or integers, you dot them. But for real numbers, you have to shade in the line, okay? Because everything, including fractions and decimals, are included. So we got to split this up into 2 halves. So the first half is going to look like this: x minus 10 less than or equal to 2 into x minus 1. And then the other half is this side of the inequality here, where you have 2 you have 2 bracket x minus 1 is less than x. Now we're going to multiply these out, and what we get is x minus 10 is less than or equal to 2x minus 2. Now what we can do next is we can move the x's to one side, so we're going to get 1x minus 2x, and on the other side we're going to get minus 2 plus 10. We're going to find out is minus x is less than or equal to 8. Now the way to do this is to think about what actually happens, right? So if I was to tell you that if I was to say minus 5 is smaller than 4, if minus 5 is smaller than 4, if I multiply both sides by minus 1, then I could say that 5 is greater than 4. You see the way you have to spin it around. So I'm going to do this here, multiply both sides by minus 1, and I'm going to get x is greater than or equal to minus 8. Now we're going to do a similar part to here. We're going to get 2x minus 2 less than x. Bring the 2 over one side, the x over the other. We're going to get 2x minus x less than 2. X is smaller than 2. So we're going to have next is a number line. So we'll just draw the number line up here, and the number line has to be will have to be from minus 8 all the way up to minus 8 all the way up to 2. So we're just going to draw the number line here, and we can put in our numbers. So we say that's minus 9, minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, and 2. Now, the thing to remember is that this one here is x greater than or equal to 8. The 8 is included, and if it's included, it's a filled-in dot. If it's excluded, we can see that x is smaller than 2. It can't be smaller than or equal to 2. This is what we call a hollow dot. It means not included. Now we have to shade in everything in between these two numbers, like so, and there it is. Okay. Next part, part C. Now part C, if you remember when you add or subtract fractions from each other, like 3/4 minus a half, most of us know that it's 1/4. But another way of doing it is to multiply the lines by each other. So you can do 2 times 3 minus 1 times 4 divided by 8. And what that will get you is 3 times 2 is 6 minus 1 times 4, which is 4 over 8. And the answer will be 2 over 8. Which we all know is 1/4. So that's another way of doing it. So this is the same thing. We're going to do 3. We're going to put these in brackets, and we're going to do 3 lines going here. So we're going to do the first line is up here. The second line is the x going up to the 1, and the third line is multiplying the x minus 1 by the x. So we're going to get x minus 1 times x on the bottom. The green line is going to be 1 multiplied by x. And sorry, this the other blue line is going to be 1 minus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. And that all equals to half. Now we haven't done anything yet, so we're just going to multiply this out. And what we're going to get is x minus 1x minus 1 by minus 1 is plus 1. Then on the bottom we're going to multiply both these by x, and we're going to get x squared minus 1x. And that equals a half. Now what we're going to notice on this side is that the x's cancel with each other. So then we're going to be left with 1 over x squared minus 1x equals a half. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to cross multiply. The 2 goes up to the 1, and the x squared minus 1x goes up to the other one. So what we're going to get is 2 times 1 equals 1 into x squared minus 1x. That's going to get us 2 equals x squared minus 1x. Bring the 2 over the other side, where we're going to get 0 equals x squared minus 1x minus 2. We can spin that around and it becomes a quadratic equation. To do this quadratic equation, you could do the minus b formula, where a equals 1, b equals minus 1, and c equals minus 2, using the minus b formula. But we're not going to do it that way. A much quicker way is to just factorize it, okay? So to factorize this, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the 1 by the minus 2 to make a reference number of minus 2. Minus 2 then breaks up into two numbers that when you multiply them you get minus 2, but when you add them you get minus 1. So you actually get minus 1 when you add the two of them. Now you can just open up your two brackets and go directly in, and you get minus 2 plus 1 equals 0. Divide this in half. What you get is x minus 2 equals 0. Bring over the 2, x equals 2. Bring over the 1, x equals minus 1. Okay. Now, next question. A page from the 2012 calendar is shown below. The grid for the month of May is made up of 5 rows and 7 columns. So the 7 columns are the vertical ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The rows are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. A 3 by 3 square covers part of the calendar as shown. Within this square, the difference between the corresponding numbers in consecutive rows is... Okay, so where's the 3 by 3 square? So the 3 by 3 square is located here. Okay, and then we go the difference between corresponding numbers in consecutive rows. Corresponding numbers in consecutive rows. Okay, so this is consecutive rows would be 18 minus 5, or sorry, consecutive rows would be 18 minus 5 and 22 minus 5. So we can see that there's a common difference here of 18 minus 5, which is 7, or 22 minus 15, which is also 7. So the consecutive row is 7. The difference between corresponding numbers in consecutive columns. Now consecutive columns would be just the gap in between here. So 10 minus 9 equals 1, or 9 minus 8 also equals 1. Okay, consecutive means basically they're next to each other. So consecutive rows would be 8 and 15. Consecutive columns is 8 and 9, or 9 and 10. Now, B. If the 3 by 3 square is moved vertically up or down within this square, the difference between the corresponding numbers is... So we're just picturing that we move the red square, okay? So we can move the red square up or down. So we'll move it here and turn it into the blue square. Now we can still see that the consecutive difference between the rows is still 7. So we can write down, it's still going to be 7. And the consecutive difference between the rows is still going to be 1. Okay, next question. The part of the square covered by a 3 by 3 square is shown. The top left number is 8. It's inside the square. A special number we will call the calendar magic number is calculated as follows. Calendar magic number is the bottom left. So we just do this here. BL multiplied by T right, top right, minus bottom right, minus top left. So find the calendar magic number for this one shown. So what it's going to be is, it's going to be 22 multiplied by 10 minus 24 times 8. You can just use the calculator straight away with that. 22 bracket 10 minus 24 bracket 8, and we get 28 for that one. Okay. Move the 3 by 3 square horizontally through one column in either direction, write the numbers on the grid, and calculate the magic number. Okay, Move the 3 by 3 square horizontally through one column in either direction. Write down the numbers on the grid. So horizontally means move it left or right. So we're going to move it this way here. So we'll go rub this out. Now ideally I want all the numbers together, so I'm just going to do this one here. Okay, so we'll do this one in green. So 13, 14, 15, 20, 21, 22. Okay. Thirteen, 14, 15, 20, 21, 22, 27, 28, and 29. Okay. So let's do our magic number again, which is bottom left, which is 27, multiply by top right, which is 15, minus 29 times 13, bottom right, by top left. So 27 times 15 minus 29 times 13 is also 28. So we can actually see that the number is 28 both times. Okay. Move the 3 by 3 square vertically through one row or another. Write down these numbers on the grid and calculate the magic number. So what we can see is that we can move it up, and maybe we could take put this in blue. Maybe we'll take this one here. Okay, so we'll go for 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17. 3, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, and 17. So once again, we're going to multiply the top left by the bottom right, so we're going to get 1 multiplied by 17. And so it's going to be, sorry, bottom left multiplied by top right, so I just got that the wrong way around. It's going to be 15 times 3 minus 17 times 1. And that's going to get you 45 minus 17, which is 28. So no matter where we move it, the magic number always seems to be 28. Okay, taking any 3 by 3 square with A as the top left number, write the other numbers in the grid in. So in the last one, we always add on 1 when we're going across. So that's going to be A plus 1, A plus 2. We always add 7 when we're going down. That's going to be A plus 7, A plus 8, A plus 9. And then add another 7 downwards. We're going to get A plus 14, A plus 15, and A plus 16. Okay. Find the calendar magic number for this situation. So it's going to be A plus 14 multiplied by A plus 2. So it's going to be A plus 14 by A plus 2 minus A minus 16 times A, or A times A plus 16. I'm going to multiply this out. We're going to get A squared plus 2A plus 14A plus 28. We're going to get minus A squared minus 16A. And then what we're going to see is that the A squareds cancel. 16A minus 16A also cancels. And we find out the magic number once again is 28. What you know is about the calendar magic numbers observed in all your previous answers. Explain this observation. What we can say here is basically all of the magic numbers are the same. All the magic numbers are the same. The situation was generalized by using a as a random variable, and the magic number still came out at 28. So it makes no difference where the 3 by 3 square is moved. Is moved. The magic number will always be 28. Okay. Next question. Students decide to compare the temperatures on Celsius and Fahrenheit scales. She boils some water and measures the temperature at certain stages. Her results are presented as follows. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to plot this graph. Okay, so the first point is 20 and 68. So 20 and 68, we come up here. Each one's worth 2. So that'd be 4 mini blocks, because we can see that that's 70. 5 small blocks is worth 10. So 5, 1 tiny block equals 2. Okay, so that's 60, 28. Now we're going to go for 25, 77. So 78 is here, which will make 77 around there. Keep the dots extremely small. 30 and 86. Which 86 is 3 blocks above 80. 35 and 95. 95, that's 98. 96, that's just in here. We'll do that one again. Just a tiny little mark, okay. 40 and 104, which is 2 above 40. 45 and 113, which is around here. Then 50 and 122, which is just 1 above the 120 mark across the board here. And then 55 and 131, which would be 130 is here, and 131 just basically in there. And then we have 60 and 140, which is up here. Now what we can do is we can join these points together using a line. Okay, and there you go, straight line. Now, find the slope of the graph and its equation. Show that f equals 6 over 5c plus 32. So to get the equation of a line, what we need to do is y minus y1 equals x minus x1. And what I'm going to need is, and the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to need 2 points on the graph. So I'm going to use 20 and 68. And I'll probably use 60 and 140 as my 2 points. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to label these points. So this one's going to be x1 and y1. And this one can be x2 and y2. So first of all, we're going to find out the slope. The slope is going to be 140 minus 68 divided by x2, which is 60 minus 20. So what we get here is 140 minus 68. Oh, sorry, we pressed the fraction button at the start. 140 minus 68 divided by 60 minus 20. And we get is 9 over 5. So the slope is 9 over 5. Now we're going to use the equation of the line formula. We're going to get y minus y1, which is 68, equals 9 over 5 into x minus x1, which is 20. Now we're going to multiply, bring the 5 up, which is division, turn into multiply. So it's going to be 5 multiplied by y minus 68 equals 9x minus 120. So 9x minus 180. Multiply this out. We're going to get 5y minus 340 equals 9x minus 180. Now, please remember what x and y stand for. X-axis is the Celsius axis, and the y-axis is the Fahrenheit axis. So y is F and x is C. So we're going to get 4F minus 340 equals 9C minus 180. The whole goal of the question is to get F on its own. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring out a 340. So 5F equals 9C minus 180 plus 340. 5F equals 9C plus 160. Divide by 5. So it's going to be 9 over 5C plus 160 over 5. And 160 over 5 turns into 32. Okay, use the formula in part B to show that C equals 5 over 9 F minus 32. So, what we're going to do here is basically we need to start off with the formula we just had. And the formula we just had was 9 over 5 C plus 32. And what we want to do is we want to get C on its own. Now, when getting stuff on its own, what we have to write down is what's actually happening to the letter C. It's being multiplied and divided, and after that, addition occurs. So when we're getting a letter on its own, we tend to go backwards. Get rid of the 32 first. So F minus 32 equals 9 over 5C. Next, we're going to multiply the top. We're going to get rid of the division, which is the 5. The 5 goes up to the other side, so we're going to get 5 multiplied by F minus 32 equals 9C. Next, we're going to get rid of the multiplication. The 9 will go underneath, so we can just get rid of the 9 here. And we're going to get 5 minus 32 all over 9, which is the same thing as what's up here. Now, use these equations to find 0 degrees on the Fahrenheit scale. This means C equals 0. So F equals 9 over 5 multiplied by whatever C is. C is 0 plus 32. And as it turned out, 0 degrees Celsius ends up to be 32 Fahrenheit. D part 2, 100 degrees on the Fahrenheit scale. So F will equal 9 over 5 multiplied by 100 plus 32. Just put that into the calculator as it is. So we already have 9 over 5 as our answer from the last one, but we'll just do it again. 9 over 5 multiplied by 100 plus 32. 212. D part 3, find 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so F equals 100, find C. So what we got to do here is we got to replace F with 100 and use this equation here. C equals 5/9 F minus 32, which will end up to be 5 over 9 times 100 minus 32. So we'll see what it is now. (100 minus 32) and press the change button. 37.78 degrees. Okay, so 37.78 degrees Celsius. Now minus 22 Fahrenheit, this time F is equal to minus 22. So C is going to be 5 over 9 minus 22 minus 32. So 5 over 9, just quickly change this part in here. Minus 22 minus 32, and we can get that Celsius is minus 30 degrees. Now, at what temperature is the same on the both scales? So when is the Fahrenheit temperature equal to the Celsius temperature? So what we can do is we can replace Fahrenheit with 9 over 5C plus 32. So Fahrenheit is 9 over 5C plus 32. And that will equal 1C. So we're just replacing the Fahrenheit with the equation it tells us it's equal to. This reduces 2 letters in one equation to 1 letter in one equation, which means we can solve it. Bring over the 1, bring over the 32. So we're going to get 9 over 5C minus 1C equals minus 32. Now 9 over 5 minus 1, once again in the calculator, 9 over 5 minus 1, it's going to get you 4 over 5C. 4 over 5C equals minus 32. So what you're going to do is going to multiply by 5 and divide by 4. So C equals minus 32 multiplied by 5 and divide by 4. Okay, so minus 32 multiplied by 5 divide by 4. And we find out it's minus 40. So C equals minus 40. This means that minus 40 Fahrenheit equals minus 40 Celsius. Now, 6F. A homemade mercury thermometer is made up of a glass tube with some mercury in a glass bulb at the bottom. When it is placed in ice, the height of the mercury is 3 centimeters. When it's placed in boiling water, the height of the mercury is 23 centimeters. When placed in boiling milk, the height is 17 centimeters. Use the formula below to find the temperature of the boiling milk in degrees Celsius. So all we got to do is input our values in here. Okay, so H3 is 17, H1 is 3, H2 is 23, and H1 is once again 3. So all we got to do is just put all these numbers into the calculator. So we're going to get 100 bracket 17 minus 3, 23 minus 3, close bracket, and we get 70. C equals 70 degrees. Now, the Fahrenheit thermometer registers 161 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, of the boiling milk. What is the percentage error to 2 decimal places in the homemade thermometer, assuming the Fahrenheit thermometer is accurate? So the Fahrenheit, this is the true value. And currently speaking, the problem is that you can't compare Celsius and Fahrenheit, so we need to convert it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say Fahrenheit equals 9 over 5 multiplied by Celsius plus 32, is the formula we had at the start. So we're going to multiply 9 over 5 by 70, and then we're going to add on 32. So 9 over 5 multiplied by 70, add on 32, and what we get is 158. Okay, so it's 158 degrees Fahrenheit is what the homemade thermometer measured. Now the error is going to be 161 minus 158, which is 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Now to get we want the percentage error to 2 decimal places. So to get the percentage error to 2 decimal places, percentage error equals error divided by true value multiplied by 100 over 1. And what this will get you is 3 divided by 161 multiplied by 100 over 1. So what we get here is 3 divided by 161 multiplied by 100 over 1. And what we can get here is 1.866%. Now we're just going to double check this. The true value was 161. So it's going to be 3 divided by 161. So it is 158. Okay. Multiplied by 70. 58. True value was 161. The error was 3. The original value was 3 divided by 161. Multiplied by 100. Let me just double check this. So 1.68%. Okay, and that concludes the end of this video.